before we get into the review, just gotta thank the people over on Patreon, because without their support, a lot of this upgraded content you see on the channel would not be possible. And I gotta say, on top of being able to respond to you guys in the DMs, you know, one of the fun things about the Patreon is every 3 months we do an anime and manga haul, and there's a lot of good goodies in that one. You also get sneak peeks at videos that haven't made their way onto the channel yet. I'm still figuring out what to do for actual YouTube memberships, so leave a suggestion down in the comment section below. But with that being said, thank you so much for all of you guys' support, and now let's get into the review. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another review for Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And now that episode 213 is done and in the books, man, we got a lot to talk about. But I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, I am so happy that the anime director personally came in and scripted this episode right here. I'm so happy because, dude, like, between the music and the way that everything was done to set the emotional atmosphere for the actual battle that's taking place right now, man, this was good, man. The music, hands down, in this episode was 200% on point. The timing, the way that the music was structured to kind of set the mood, very, very nice choices right there. But I gotta say, this Kashin Koji versus Jigen battle, I love seeing it animated, and the fight is still gonna be ongoing in the next episode. But dude, I love the fact that they kind of went through and showed you the important parts. The chapter itself was adapted almost 1-to-1 in its entirety throughout this episode, which is very good, because typically Boruto episodes either do half a chapter or up to a chapter and a half. So getting about a full chapter in this actual episode, very beautifully done. The way you were left with the cliffhanger at the end with Jigen being burned by Kashin Koji, that's exactly how it ended in the actual manga, with Amado saying, "I'm going to tell you the ways to kill an Otsutsuki." So don't feel cheated there. But part of the reason why people such as myself were such a big fan of the fight that's ongoing right now is the fact that what you're seeing is the appropriate blend of what the mangaka tries to do, which is, the mangaka's openly said he looks at Dragon Ball's manga for inspiration when he does the actual fight scenes. You're getting a blend of what you would have got with OG Dragon Ball, which would be Goku when he was 12 and then 15 and then 18 during those different time periods right there. But also you're seeing the Naruto element. So you're seeing the move hidden behind the move, where Jigen is able to get behind Kashin Koji and he impels him with the chakra rods, but then that ends up being a shadow clone. And then you see how all of a sudden Kashin Koji is throwing the shuriken, Jigen's dodging. You see how they go into the taijutsu barrage, but Jigen uses that as an opportunity to actually hide his next attack. Like the little small things like that, where you're getting the mix of the hand-to-hand combat in the Dragon Ball style, while also getting the Naruto elements of misdirection and the move hidden behind the move. And to see it brought to life in the anime, I absolutely love it. And the small details really add up. Now, a lot of times when people watch the episodes, they focus more so on the art, and they're not really looking to see which of the 12 principles of animation are actually being used for that particular scene, which is understandable. Most people don't know that there are 12 principles to animation in general. The only reason you don't see me point out detailed examples of when different principles are being used is just like when I talk about manga paneling and people say, "Oh my god, you're talking about paneling." The thing I find is that most people just want to recap. That's why I don't go too in detail on the principles of manga and anime in general. But there are some animation principles I thought were very well done in this episode, especially when it came to some of the ones that were used to convey emotion with the characters. Like when you see Boruto realize that his body is going to cease to exist and Momoshiki's going to revive inside of him, and in that moment that was a good example of squish and stretch, only it wasn't for the entire face, but instead the animators focused on Boruto's eyes in order to convey that expression and the sense of drama in that moment. Now I can keep going with specific examples, but I don't want this to actually bog down too much longer, because I know most of you guys just want the recap. One aspect of the episode I thought was very very well done was the fact that, you know, Boruto in the anime version catches on to things a lot quicker than he does in the manga version. In the anime, Boruto's following along and Boruto puts the pieces together right away, and I like how the anime director who wrote the episode makes use of Boruto in terms of his character, because once you start talking about how the Otsutsuki are compressing data and it's going to be uploaded and etc., Boruto's able to put that into video game terminologies. It's like, oh snap, so I'm a memory card for Momoshiki, only when you go into the save game data file, I'm no longer going to exist. Like, I love the way Boruto just snaps everything together right away. If I'm not mistaken, in the manga he was asking questions. I like the use of Boruto's character here. Boruto realizes very quickly, like, I might very well die and there's nothing I can do about it. And like when Amado tells him, like, yo, the only way you can save your son is if you kill him. That's the only way you can save him from being turned into Momoshiki. Naruto has a moment to where he realizes that the very child that he held in his arms when he was a newborn, he might very well have to hold that child as that child takes his last breath. And I love that dilemma that you see Naruto with, because Naruto realizes that there's gonna come a time where if they can't find a way to save Boruto from the karma seal, that he's gonna have to choose between being a Hokage and being a father, and that is a very tough choice. Now in the manga, we know what Naruto's answer to that question is, because the 5 Kage presented to him and Naruto gives his answer. So I'm not going to go much further in detail. I will say I've done videos talking about whether or not Naruto is going to be able to kill Boruto, and the idiots that were in the comment section saying, oh my god, Naruto doesn't have to question whether or not to kill Boruto, you're making this up. Now those same idiots can go suck one, because you just saw it in the anime. I mean, it's not like you don't get context at the beginning of the video. They're like, yo, this is a manga spoiler, this is a theory based on the manga, or these are scenes taken from light novels that have not been animated. This is directed towards the people who jump the gun and write the comments and get disrespectful. Maybe, just maybe, if you watch the video, you might actually learn something. But getting back to the episode itself, not being able to see Isshiki versus Kaguya was a letdown, but I get it. That's why it really leads me to believe that once we get to the time skip in the manga, I really feel like Kishimoto is going to do what he did with Naruto's time skip, to where there were 6 chapters in the Naruto manga that were devoted towards the Kakashi Gaiden, explaining how Kakashi got the Sharingan. I really feel like we're going to get something that is going to explain more that Kaguya and Isshiki dynamic, because the anime removed the line where it said that Kaguya betrayed Isshiki because she wanted the chakra fruit for herself. Amado just says that they didn't know the circumstances of what happened because it happened so long ago. So that leads me to believe that the manga is probably going to touch on that somewhere later down the line. I love how the anime handled that scene where Naruto's looking at Kashin Koji and Naruto's shaking because he's realizing that Kashin Koji is fighting in a very particular style of fighting that Naruto is very familiar with. And so I love what the anime is doing right here, building towards what's going to happen in the next episode. But the true highlight and the true brilliance of this episode, in my opinion, is how they handled the info dumps that Amado had, because in the manga, it really felt like Amado was just really dragging things out. The anime, by adding the music and choosing the right soundtracks for these scenes and the way that everything was handled, if I'm not mistaken, they restructured some of the actual scenes, and I like it. I felt like this was a great building, kind of like a crescendo towards the reveal at the end of the episode that under no circumstances must they allow Isshiki to be able to revive inside of Kawaki's body, because as I've said before, Jigen's body is not a suitable host for Isshiki Otsutsuki. It cannot use Isshiki's full power. So for as powerful as Jigen is, Like I've said before, Isshiki is a lot stronger than Jigen. So Naruto and Sasuke fans, if you are still on Suicide Watch, you're still going to be on Suicide Watch when Isshiki inevitably gets his time to fight Naruto and Sasuke. I thought the anime episode did a really good job of just kind of building up traction and heat for the character Isshiki Otsutsuki and really kind of letting the viewers know that Isshiki is a really big deal. Between them revealing the fact that Kaguya had to catch him off guard and Amado saying that like, yeah, Jigen was nasty, but yo, if he revives inside of Kawaki's body, we have a really big problem right here. And I know a few people look at the whole Isshiki stuff and say, well, you know, he can't be that impressive. I'll say this, if a sucker punch can kill somebody, if you turn around and hit Mike Tyson at the right angle when he's not paying attention, you can actually kill him. The fact that Kaguya didn't go straight up to Isshiki and just battle this dude head up, but had to catch the guy off guard, and even with all of her instant killing jutsu, Isshiki was still able to survive. Granted, barely survive at that, but the fact is he survived. It says a lot about the guy's actual durability, because we saw with Kaguya, she's got numerous instant killing jutsu, and if she was taking that chakra fruit for herself and she saw a threat that needed to be eliminated, Kaguya wouldn't sit there and leave the guy half dead knowing that he can come back and fight her at another point in time. Kaguya is not like Hashirama Senju, where Hashirama left Kakuzu half dead because Hashirama has a soft heart. Kaguya does not have a soft heart, so that's interesting right there. So I like how the anime's actually taking that time to show you like Isshiki is bad news. They gave that title to the wrong person. They gave the title to Jigen saying he's bad news. No, Isshiki is bad news. And Amado is warning them like, hey, if he comes back in Kawaki's body, we might as well get ready to pack up the entire planet. You're gonna be smoking Kurama packs, Naruto packs, Sasuke packs, Hinata packs, Himawari packs, everybody gonna get packed up. And in closing, I do like the fact that one of the things they did is that they twisted around some of the actual dialogue. So in the anime version of the events, they confirmed that like, yeah, you know, the goal was Infinite Tsukuyomi, and the Infinite Tsukuyomi is gonna be used to make the chakra fruit. In the manga, it just says that they're going to make the chakra fruit. So you see the connection with Boro with the Infinite Tsukuyomi lines. You also get the moment where they talk about the fact that Victor tried to create his own chakra fruit, and Amado confirms that that was Victor doing so at his own discretion behind Jigen's back. So I like how you're seeing the anime original content actually being mixed into the story as a way to flesh things out and add more layers to the story. That's one of the issues that myself and others have talked about with the manga, is that the manga does not go very much into detail. The manga is pretty bad when it comes to providing detail. Instead, the manga is more so snapshots, and the anime goes in, it connects dots and foreshadows things. Like you had foreshadowing of stuff going on currently in the manga right now with characters like Code that the anime gave you the foreshadowing for, that the manga never gave you foreshadowing for before that. So you're seeing right here how the anime is by far setting things up to tell the complete story of this part of the Naruto franchise. It is what it is. This is the route that they chose to go. The anime has to make up for the manga's shortcomings, and that's where we're at, so we got to take it. But I will say I did like the lines that were thrown in there, in particular the line where you have Amado say that Otsutsuki go from planet to planet as a way to continually update themselves, because the chakra fruit is a collection of not just all the chakra but all the resources and data and etc., the genetic material and the actual planets. Like you're getting everything, and that's how the Otsutsuki are updating once they eat the chakra fruit. So I like that. Even though this is information that we as the audience know, some of this information is information that the actual characters in the story might have had suspicions about, but it was never directly confirmed to them. So I'm okay with some of the info dump stuff that Amado's giving to them. But I'll tell you the same thing that I told to manga readers last year when these chapters were coming out. There's a literary trope called the unreliable narrator, and I think you guys need to apply that trope to the character of Amado. And there's a reason why Sasuke is continually just trying to poke holes in Amado's story, because Shikamaru right now is compromised. His son is being essentially held hostage. So Shikamaru is not 100% on his A game. He's in the back of his mind worried about his child. So I like that you see Sasuke and you see Sai to a certain extent just kind of poking holes in Amado's story, seeing if maybe something springs a leak. And that's why I say it comes down to the unreliable narrator. Is Amado one or not? And that's actually going to be one of my episode questions to you guys. Do you guys trust in what Amado is saying right now? Do you think that he's an unreliable narrator? If you're a manga reader looking back at this scene right here, how does this make you look at the stuff going on in the manga currently? Do you think Amado is an unreliable narrator? Does he have an ulterior motive? And then the second question I have is a bit of a fun one. So if you had to rank the fights in the anime top 3 and then the fights in the manga top 3, what are your top 3 fights? Let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.